This is episode 42 of 365 episodes. You would think I'd look at the number before I got on here. And my hair for that matter. I totally was not thinking about it. I just came right out of my yoga practice. So this is me. So we're just wrapping up our entire week of gratitude practice. And I have several notes taped around my phone here so that I don't want to miss a beat and I wanted to cover everything. I think the first thing is to come up with your own gratitude practice. I've been studying gratitude for quite some time, and the thing that kind of shies me away from doing different subjects is because it's become like a real popular buzzword. One of those things is probably authenticity. Everybody wants to be authentic, and that was a buzzword for a real long time. Or if you're an entrepreneur like I am, six figures is one of those things that's kind of a turn off, or lifestyle brand, or that kind of stuff. But it's just difficult to come up with your own experiences if you're always listening to someone else's experiences. And so your job is to try. Your job is to put action behind it. And I can't stress that enough, because as long as, there's a saying that says, don't talk to the man that sits at the bottom of the mountain and studies the mountain, but talk to the man who has been up and down the mountain several times. I completely butchered that whole thing, but you get the gist of putting action behind it, because if you don't put action behind, if you don't try on your own, then you're never going to have your own experiences to draw from. And so it's almost like you have to rely on other people's experiences to be able to, trust that what they're saying is truth. So I can't stress enough that you have to put action or try yourself your own gratitude practice and put something into place so that you can find what works best for you, because what works best for you is not going to work best for anyone. There was something else that I had read about. You have to take the new experiences, because your brain really loves new experiences. So you have to take those newer experiences by applying the action, and you couple that with your own experience. So you're putting in new information, you're coupling that with new experience, and then on the other side of that is wisdom. So the longer you have those experiences, or the longer that you have that time and that experience, that becomes your own wisdom. So relying on other people to give you information is just not a really good road. And that's just been from my own personal experience of consistently trying my own stuff to be able to get my own thing out of it. And I can't stress that enough. So if I have at least swayed you in the direction of at least trying some sort of gratitude practice, then I feel like I have a victory. As long as you're willing to try, and I've convinced you to at least try to start to put something into action. It certainly doesn't have to be what I'm doing, but it has to be something that is going to benefit you. And I think that's the most important thing. So don't feel like you have to do what I'm doing. I'm keeping track because I'm going to really have a lot of notes to cover here, and I just want to keep it under a certain amount of time. So do what works really well for you. Gratitude has actually come from a religious context. But it doesn't mean that it has to be religious for you. My practice is really religious, but I consider myself more of a spiritual person. We've all had that conversation. Like, I don't really have a religion. And like, I'm a spiritual person, but I don't really have a religion. We've all had that conversation. So do what really works for you, or it could bring you closer to spiritualism. But that's kind of the depth that I studied on that, because I think spiritualism is different for everyone. I don't think there's one set of rules for spirituality. I think we're all going to practice whatever it is that we're going to practice. And you've heard also, we don't never have a discussion about politics or religion. I don't know if it's ever going to end well, but a lot of people just aren't really open-minded that much anymore. And so there's just certain subjects I won't talk about, and that's probably one of them, and I probably spent too much time talking about it already. Grateful people are definitely more likely to help other people, but that's a given, right? I think we've pretty much already figured that one out. Here's the one that was a clincher for me, is that Americans are the least likely to practice gratitude. And I kind of found that bothersome. Like really low. We were really low on the totem pole. And it wasn't like there was this huge list or anything. I was just surprised to find that, I don't know if it's like a privilege thing or where that context comes from, but I was really surprised that we're the least likely people to have some sort of gratitude practice. That's bothersome. Writing in longhand, like keeping a gratitude journal. And like I'm saying, you don't have to do any of this, but I like to sit down and like write all of my gratitudes out. But I feel more connected to it. It's more organic for me if I sit down and actually write down all the things that I'm grateful for. And I usually, sometimes I can go over 10 things. And that, I got into discussion with someone else that said, oh my God, I can only do 7. And I'm like, well, make your list 7 then. Like, it doesn't have to be taxing. If it feels taxing, then you're on the wrong road. You need to sort of back up a little bit and make sure you're getting something out of it. And I think that's the most important thing. Hearing other people's gratitude or seeing other people's gratitude actually makes you feel more grateful. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. But hearing it from other people and seeing it from other people, or reading other people's gratitude lists, which I would never do, but it's like that reinforcement of focusing on what's positive. Even if it's from other people, it helps you. It helps you have higher social capital. In other words, more people are going to like you more because you are more grateful. And I think that's probably a given too. It deters from an inwardly focus. And I put this in here, honestly, this is my own experiences because I was suffering so much from anxiety and depression. And regardless, at the time that I was really suffering from it, knowing that it was a what do you call that? It was a self-centered thing, knowing that it was a self-centered thing or being told that was really offensive to me. So if you're someone who's already deep into it, you're probably not going to even hear that anyway. But for me, it was very inwardly focused. So when you're constantly focusing on, what's coming from the inside, which is probably not good anyway because you're telling yourself really negative stuff, then you're not really going to be able to see that. But when you're focusing on the actions of other people and the really kind actions, that's easier for you to digest than to always coming up with that negative stuff from the inside. With anxiety and depression. Spiritualism, I think I already said that, right? Gratitude and spiritualism are basically connected. You can definitely savor more of the positive experiences because you're spending more time with the positive experiences. So you're re-experiencing those positive experiences if you're focusing only on those. And I'm not going to keep babbling here. Grateful people are liked and appreciated more. That's so obvious, but I thought it was really wise to put in there because I think we get so caught. Just look, here's a great example. Look at how people drive on the road. You can tell a lot about how a person acts as, when you watch them drive or the behaviors of their driver, if they're considerate of other people or if they're always cutting other people off or they're just darting in and out. Driving's not one of my favorite things to do. I try to avoid when everyone else is out on the road driving because I'm one of those road rage people. And I try not to be that. And so I try to stay away from situations that bring out the worst of me. And I hope for you that you're doing the same thing. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I feel like I keep going on and on. But hopefully I have talked you into trying some sort of gratitude practice. And if I could help you in any way to get the whole thing started, get something started for yourself, that would make me really happy, or even have you consider it. But just ignore the fact that it's a complete buzzword right now and just try to come up with your own practice. You need to start some form of practice. It does not have to be fancy. Don't let that deter you from getting started by trying to make it formal and a bunch of crap that you won't keep up with to begin with. That's really important. Make it something that you'll definitely keep up with and you're happy to do. Okay, try for at least 30 days and see what you get out of it. If you're not getting anything out of it, that's a problem. So let me go ahead and wrap this up. I've been babbling for like 9 minutes, people. Oh my God. Freddie, thank you for joining me. I'm waving at you, Freddie. Hi, Wendy. Wendy, my girl. I'm grateful for you. Have a super Sunday. Thank you. You guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much for being here or watching the replay. If you're watching on the replay, I have a gratitude Friday every single Friday. Please join me on it or list what you feel you are grateful for on my feed, and I repost it in my stories, okay? So thank you so much, guys. I'm going to sign off. Hi, Freddie. Bye, Freddie. See you guys tomorrow. Bye!